How much have you lost to gambling?
I think it could be around the $300,000 mark, if not more.
Plan B was now, I've lost a total of $1,000. $1,040 I've lost. I'm not very happy with that. Not only have I lost the money, but I lost 2 computers. And now I'm getting ready to go lose my camera and my, not lose it, but get a loan on it. And one of these days I'm hoping that maybe I will hit it big. Maybe I will be able to win $15,000 or something like that, so that where I can just, you know, pay a lot of bills off and get back on track, you know. But right now, it's very difficult.
Right now, while you're playing a slot machine in Las Vegas, an algorithm is watching you. It knows when you're about to quit, and it's already decided what to do about it. Las Vegas just brought in over $15 billion in gaming revenue in 2024. Slot machines alone generated $10.5 billion of that. But here's what nobody tells you. Those machines aren't the same ones your parents played. They're powered by artificial intelligence that tracks every bet you make, every pause you take, and predicts your next move before you even think about it. This isn't science fiction. This is happening right now on the Strip. Walk into any casino on the Las Vegas Strip today, and you'll see thousands of slot machines. They look like entertainment. Bright colors, fun sounds, familiar characters on the screens. But underneath that flashy exterior, something completely different is running the show. These machines are collecting data on you in real time and using that data to keep you playing longer. Most people think slot machines are just random number generators wrapped in pretty graphics. And technically, the outcomes are still random, but everything else about your experience? That's being carefully controlled by AI systems that have studied millions of gambling sessions to figure out exactly what keeps people in their seats. Here's how deep this goes. Companies like Economist and Scientific Games developed facial recognition technology for slot machines years ago.
Anyone playing on a poker machine in pubs and clubs across New South Wales will soon have their faces scanned by high-tech cameras. The Daily Telegraph reporting this morning that facial recognition technology will be used to help keep problem gamblers away from machines.
Back in 2019, Economist executive explained to the Review Journal that these systems can identify who's playing, track their gambling habits, their spending patterns, even what they like to eat. The machine knows you. It remembers you. And it adjusts itself based on what it knows about you. But facial recognition is just the beginning. Modern slot machines track how long you play each session, what bet sizes you prefer, which types of games you gravitate toward, how quickly you spin, and crucially when you start to slow down. That last one is the most important, because the AI doesn't just want to know what you're doing. It wants to predict what you're about to do next. The machines know when you're getting bored. They know when you're about to cash out and leave. And research from 2025 shows that predictive AI in slot machines can detect the exact moment a player is likely to walk away and then trigger what looks like a random bonus round or free spin feature to pull them back in. Think about that for a second. You're not just playing against the house odds anymore. You're playing against the system that's studying your psychology in real time and adapting its tactics specifically to keep you engaged. Now let's talk about what's happening in your brain while all this is going on. Because the technology isn't just tracking your behavior. It's taking advantage of how your brain is wired. Every time you pull that lever or press that button, your brain is doing something specific. It's releasing a chemical called dopamine. Most people think dopamine is the pleasure chemical, but that's not quite right. Dopamine is actually about anticipation and motivation. It's what makes you want to spin again. Scientists have studied this extensively. Research published in multiple neuroscience journals shows that gambling activates the same brain regions that light up during drug use. The mesolimbic pathway, which is your brain's reward system, goes into overdrive when you gamble. And here's the really wild part. Your brain doesn't just release dopamine when you win. It releases dopamine when you almost win. You know that feeling when you get 2 symbols on a slot machine and you're waiting for that third one, that near miss? Studies from the University of British Columbia and research published in journals like Frontiers in Behavioral Neuroscience prove that near misses trigger your reward system almost as much as actual wins. Your brain sees that as progress, not failure. And that makes you want to keep playing. But it gets more complicated. Research on pathological gambling found something unexpected. In problem gamblers, dopamine release is actually higher during losses than during wins. Think about that. Losing money triggers more of the chemical that motivates you to keep going. That's not a bug in your brain. That's how loss chasing works on a neurological level. And the casinos know all of this. The AI systems running these machines are designed to exploit these exact psychological patterns. Modern slot games use what the industry calls dynamic volatility adjustment. That means the machine can change how often it pays out and how much it pays based on your behavior. If you're about to quit after a losing streak, suddenly you might get a small win or a bonus feature. Not because the universe smiled on you, because an algorithm decided that was the optimal moment to keep you engaged. Researchers at multiple universities have documented how slot machines are specifically engineered to maximize what they call time on device. Everything from the sounds to the lights to the way wins are displayed is calculated to trigger dopamine responses. When you win even a small amount, there are flashing lights and celebratory sounds, even if you're actually down money overall. Your brain processes those signals as rewards. This isn't conspiracy theory stuff. This is published research from institutions like UNLV's Boyd School of Law and scientific journals studying gambling behavior. The machines are literally designed to hack your brain's reward circuitry. So what does this actually look like in Las Vegas right now? Let's talk specifics. As of 2025, Nevada has over 127,000 slot machines operating across the state. The vast majority of them are on the Strip and in major casinos. And an increasing number are connected to centralized AI systems that process data from multiple machines simultaneously. Companies like Gaming Analytics are selling what they call real-time AI platforms to casino operators. These systems don't just track individual machines. They analyze patterns across entire casino floors. They can predict when certain areas will be busy, which machines will perform better at different times of day, and most importantly, which players are high value and should get personalized attention. At properties owned by Caesars Entertainment, there's an AI system called Ivy. It functions as a virtual concierge, but it's also collecting data on guest preferences and behaviors. The system knows what you like, what you spend money on, and how to keep you engaged with the property. This isn't just about convenience. This is about optimization. And there's a brand new hotel opening near Allegiant Stadium in 2025 called Autonomous Hotel. They're billing it as the first AI hotel. The entire property is designed around artificial intelligence that creates digital profiles for each guest. The AI scrapes social media, past booking data, every piece of information it can find about you to build what they call a digital twin. The system then predicts what you'll want before you ask for it. Now, Autonomous isn't primarily a casino, but think about what happens when this level of AI personalization gets fully integrated into gambling. If a hotel can predict your room temperature preference and coffee order, a casino can predict when you're most likely to gamble, what games you prefer, and exactly what kind of promotions will get you back on the floor. We're already seeing this with loyalty programs. Properties like Wynn Las Vegas use machine learning to analyze player data and predict lifetime value. High-value players get personal jets and reserved tables. But the same algorithms are working on casual players too, drip-feeding rewards and offers designed to increase spending. The Strip generated almost $9 billion in casino revenue in fiscal year 2024. Slot machines accounted for nearly $5 billion of that. And every single one of those spins generated data. Data about you, about when you play, how much you bet, when you win, when you lose. And most importantly, when you're about to stop. A research study from 2025 analyzing AI personalization in online gambling found that AI-driven mechanisms significantly affect cognitive and motivational processes. The algorithms don't just respond to your behavior, they shape it. They create what researchers call loss aversion exploitation, where the system identifies players who've lost consistently and sends them messages like, "You're due for a win," right, when they're thinking about quitting. And this brings us to one of the most important points. The same technology that casinos claim helps identify problem gambling behavior is also being used to prevent what the industry calls churn. That's their word for people who quit gambling. The algorithms can flag addiction patterns, sure, but they're primarily designed to maximize revenue by keeping people playing longer. A 2025 report on casino AI tracking showed that systems now use what they call personalized traps. If you're a single parent who tends to gamble late at night after stress, the AI will push promotions at 11 p.m. If you respond to certain types of bonuses, those are what you'll see. The system learns you and adapts to you specifically. Here's where this gets really intense. We're not just talking about smarter slot machines. We're talking about a complete transformation of how casinos operate. At the 2025 Global Gaming Expo, one of the biggest casino industry conferences. A company called Gaming Analytics announced a partnership with Mindway AI, a firm that specializes in responsible gaming technology. On the surface, that sounds good, but look closer at what they're actually doing. They're integrating real-time AI platforms with systems that can identify gambling problems and adjust gameplay accordingly. That means casinos now have the technology to detect when you're developing addictive patterns and intervene. But they also have the technology to detect when you're about to stop playing and intervene there too. Same system, different goals. Research from institutions studying gambling behavior found that modern AI systems can identify the exact psychological profile of each player and tailor experiences to exploit specific vulnerabilities. If you're someone who chases losses, the system learns that. If you're motivated by social competition, you might see more leaderboard features. If you respond to near misses, you'll get more of them. The gaming industry likes to talk about personalization as if it's a service, making your experience better. But personalization in this context means figuring out exactly what psychological buttons to push to keep you gambling longer. And the technology is advancing fast. Facial recognition systems don't just identify you anymore. They can detect your emotional state. Research presented at UNLV conferences on AI and facial recognition in casinos shows that these systems can potentially read micro-expressions and body language to gauge excitement, frustration, or signs that you're about to leave. Some systems are now incorporating what's called behavioral biometrics. That means tracking not just what you do, but how you do it, the rhythm of your button presses, the speed of your decisions, how long you pause between spins. All of that data feeds into models that predict your next action. And remember, this isn't some distant future technology. This is operational right now in Las Vegas. The casinos aren't advertising it because they don't need to. Most players have no idea how much they're being analyzed in real time. The economic incentives are massive. Nevada Gaming Control Board data shows that even small increases in time on device translate to millions of dollars in additional revenue. If AI can keep players engaged just 10% longer, that's over $1 billion in additional slot revenue annually across the state. But here's the thing nobody wants to talk about. All of this sophisticated AI, all of this behavioral tracking, all of these personalized interventions, they're being deployed on an activity that can be genuinely addictive. Research from multiple universities confirms that gambling disorder shows up in brain scans similarly to substance addiction. The same neural pathways are affected. The same dopamine dysregulation occurs. And unlike substance abuse, where there's a physical drug causing the problem, gambling addiction is purely about behavior and brain chemistry, which means the AI systems designed to exploit those patterns are directly interacting with the neurological basis of addiction. So what does all of this mean for someone walking into a casino today? It means you need to understand what you're actually dealing with. Those slot machines aren't just games of chance anymore. They're sophisticated psychological systems backed by artificial intelligence, designed by teams of engineers who've studied exactly how to keep you playing. The house always had an edge. That's never changed. But now the house has real-time data analytics, predictive algorithms, and AI systems that adapt to you personally. The game isn't just rigged in the traditional sense. It's personalized to be maximally effective against your specific psychology. Las Vegas generated over $15.5 billion in gaming revenue in 2024. That money came from real people making real decisions. But those decisions were being influenced by AI systems that most people don't even know exist. The technology isn't going away. If anything, it's getting more advanced. The autonomous hotel opening this year is just the beginning. More casinos are adopting AI platforms. More machines are being connected to centralized analytics systems. The entire industry is moving toward greater personalization and more sophisticated behavioral tracking. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The same technology that could theoretically help identify and assist problem gamblers is primarily being used to optimize revenue. The incentive structure doesn't favor player protection. It favors profit maximization. The research is clear. The neuroscience is clear. These systems work. They keep people playing longer. They generate more revenue. And they do it by exploiting specific patterns in how human brains process risk, reward, and near misses. Understanding this doesn't mean you can't enjoy gambling. But it does mean you should go in with your eyes open. When you sit down at a slot machine in Las Vegas, remember that you're not just playing a game. You're interacting with an AI system that's been optimized through millions of sessions to be as engaging as possible. It knows things about player psychology that you probably don't know about yourself. And it's using that knowledge every single spin. The lights are bright. The sounds are exciting. The possibility of winning feels real. But underneath all of that is a sophisticated system designed to keep you exactly where you are, for as long as possible, spending as much as you're willing to spend. That's the hidden system running Las Vegas today. And now you know it's there.